Hi everyone, and welcome to my You're Doing It Wrong Silver Proving Grounds Achievement Guide. For this achievement, you need to complete a Silver Proving Grounds challenge in a spec not suited for it, so I chose to do damage as a Brewmaster Monk. I don't really touch my Brewmaster much, so she's only about 670. I didn't use any particularly special trinkets or enchants or anything, because honestly this is really easy. I chose Monk mostly because they have a few nifty spells and abilities like Transcendence and Nimble Brew and Serenity that make this pretty simple. I mean, it's a cakewalk kind of to begin with, but you know, having those extra things up your sleeve really help. This first wave, honestly, there's nothing special about it, just DPS the stuff down. I would suggest keeping your Touch of Death, although honestly you won't need it for a few waves, so I guess you could use it if you really wanted to. I was erring on the side of caution, as I hadn't done this or made a plan for it, but either way, it doesn't really matter. For these AoE waves, you want to make sure you throw down Dizzying Haze, use your Fire Breath, and then you can just kind of focus down the main ad while the dot ticks down. Make sure you pop your AoE, and you can just kind of single target them down. These guys really don't have very much life at all. There are a couple waves like this, and they just kind of fall over, and you're left with quite a bit of time ticking down there. Which is kind of annoying. I honestly kind of wish Blizzard had have just chopped the end off the timers, but I guess it would have screwed up people's cooldowns. So there's a method behind the madness. For the waves with Amber Shapers, it's pretty straightforward. You want to hit the ad with the Amber, like in every other Proving Grounds. If you get stuck with it, you can pop Nimble Brew. It will release you from the Amber, and you can go along your merry way. I'm pretty guilty as a melee player of getting stuck in these fairly frequently. So anyway, that's a little handy hint. But again, this wave honestly is just, it'll fall over, especially with those amber globules. So moving on to the next wave, another AoE wave. This one you can trap multiple ads with the amber. I didn't really need to. I instead chose to use this first amber ball to trap the amber shaper itself. Because those little rabbits just melt, and I wanted something to do for the remainder of the time left on this wave, because it does get a little bit boring standing there waiting to start DPSing again. Just watch out you don't get hit again while your Nimble Brew's on cooldown. I guess I probably could have soaked it and still been okay, but you know, mistakes can be made and you don't really want that to happen, so it did get a little bit close there, as you can see, but that's because I was trying to kite. This wave, with little rabbits, again, the Dizzying Haze, the Fire Breath, it doesn't really matter if they get healed up by that first heal, because honestly, they just have such little life pools. But you want to focus down the healer first, as is with everything. You do have your leg sweep if you need to interrupt consecutively. Like say you got that first interrupt, I'm not sure if Jab or Spearhand Strike, whatever it's called, is off cooldown in time. But then just burn down the rabbits, and yeah, get prepared for the next wave. I do set up Transcendence across the room from me, I always forget to use it, but hey, I try. This wave I panicked a little bit, and I popped all my cooldowns. I hit Touch of Death on this because I started getting a little bit antsy, and then I would move on to the big Mogu, and I ended up popping Serenity, afraid that I was not going to make the timer for this wave. In reality, I ended up with a lot of time left, so if I were you, or if I were me doing this again, I would save my cooldowns for the next couple of waves, just because they're the ones that start getting a little bit more on the time-consuming side, especially as a tank with not a lot of damage. You could probably use some DPS trinkets to make this easier, but I just didn't. I thought, why not just dive in with all my gear and see if we can do this time around. I did it on a Death Knight in the last expansion. I think I made a video of that too. But again, monks have some really nifty kind of spells and abilities, and I felt like playing it, so why not? This wave gets a little bit tricksy. Of course, you'll want to use the Amber Globule again, and focus down the healer first. The two rabbits at the beginning kind of just fell over. I actually didn't realize they were there until I watched the video over again, but you can hop over and make sure you trap them over. They'll go down pretty easy once you do have the amber on them, especially that little one. I did kind of mess this up, and the amber ends up hitting the amber shaper, so I just killed that first. And thankfully I had Touch of Death up again for this wave, because again I was not watching my timer while I was playing, and getting a little bit stressed that perhaps I wouldn't make the timer. In reality I probably could have, and I could have saved Touch of Death for the next wave. But again, waiting for the timer, waiting for the timer. This last wave is kind of just a conglomeration of everything. Again, kill your healer first. Make sure you keep it interrupted. I ended up also using paralysis on one of the amber shapers, just so I didn't have to deal with two of the globules floating around. It is easily doable, but it just adds kind of another layer of complexity that, hey, if you don't have to deal with, why would you? It took me 2 amber globes to get this healer down, because my monk is terrible, but once it was gone, there was kind of nothing to worry about. He just kind of killed Ripper, then I moved over to the amber shaper, and that was kind of that. There isn't really much else to kind of go through on this wave. If you can handle these mechanics, you can easily move on to gold, although gold does introduce the annoying spinning monkey things that if they hit you, you start getting a mischance. But otherwise, stay tuned for the gold guide. I'll be making it in the next couple days. Hopefully this helps you get your doing it wrong, so thanks and good luck.